going out there, everyone? This is Craig at Stumping Grip Scale Speed Shop, and I got another build update for you on the MPC 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. This one will cover the base coat, the color coat, and give you a basic rundown of how I do my decals. I'll be showing you putting the decals on the Trans Am. So let me get things turned around and we'll get going on that one. Okay, so I did a little color test and I sprayed one half of this hood with Tester's Blazing Black, and I sprayed the other half with my Tester's Color Shift Base Coat Gloss Black that I forgot I had. And then I sprayed a couple of coats of the Tamiya TS18, an old can I had left over. And I sprayed it on the spare Corvette hood. And what I noticed, doesn't really show up on the camera here, but the gloss black base coat side came out a little bit darker and actually a little shinier, which doesn't really matter because I'm going to gloss coat it anyways. So I decided to go ahead, get everything else out of the way here, and paint the Tester's Gloss Black base coat on the Trans Am first. The hood and the scoop. I had already sprayed a coat of Blazing Black, the metallic black on there, but I went ahead and sprayed a coat of the gloss black over it because I just wanted that deeper red, and that's what was going to give it. So now I'm off to spray the TS18 metallic red over everything. So hopefully that turns out. Okay, and I did get the Tamiya TS18 metallic red sprayed on this afternoon as well. We see it on the engine cover. And the firewall. Get a little bit of sun on it too. The mirrors. And we have the shaker scoop. This is the hood. Got a little dimple over there, I see. Didn't notice that before. No big deal. And the body, you can see a little bit of it in the sun from my window. I like it. Around the back, you can see a little bit of the T-top outline there, but yeah, I'm not going for absolute 100% perfection, so it is what it is. That's fine. But very happy with this, very happy. And we'll see Monday or Tuesday, maybe I can get the decals on, the bird decals and the Trans Am script on. You see the Pontiac logo there, emblem. I like it. So next up, maybe we'll show putting the decals on. Okay, so I'm back. I got the car painted and I'm ready to put the decals on here. I have my decal sheet. I have my little scissors to cut the decals with. I have a toothpick to help move the decal around with. Q-tip to help dab out the water and some bubbles in my tweezers. I do have a paper towel square. Select a size for also dabbing away water and any bubbles, you know, the initial phase. I have a little water tray for my decals that I got a long time ago. And I have my little thing of water that I'll pour into my decal tray. I'll move the parts over here. Get a few other things out of the way. And the first thing I need to do is cut the decals out. I'll start with the birds. Now the decals all come with about 1 millimeter worth of clear on the outside of the color for every decal. Big ones, small ones, they're all the same. For shapes like this and for flames, I don't worry about getting too close to that. But for like straight lines, little scripts, I'll show you on the Trans Am script when I get to them, and for like stripes and stuff like that are straight, I might get closer to the actual color border. But for like I said, for shapes like this, I'm not going to worry about getting too close, because I'll cut through them. Now you can either do one decal at a time, cut them out one at a time, or you can cut them out all at once. I usually cut them out, a couple at a time, and then as they're soaking in the water, I'll just continue to cut some more out. But in this case, I'm going to cut quite a few of them out, maybe all of them ahead of time. I'm actually going to start with the TA 6.6 for the shaker scoop. They're very tiny, probably can't even see what I'm doing here. But you cut all around it. I probably didn't need to get as close as I am, but I do. I take my tweezer and pop it in there. And while that is soaking, I will cut the other one out. I give them anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to soak. You can tell on your first decal how long it's going to take to soak them. Some sheets take longer, some take less. So we'll bring the shaker scoop out, scoop it up with the tweezer, make sure it's right side up here. You can still see it. And it's ready to slide right off. And we'll just pop it on. Slide it around a smidge with a toothpick here. All that looks good. Carefully and steadily dab it down with your Q-tip. All I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it up through the hood here. Make sure it's high enough. I'm going to move it up a little bit higher, you can see. So I'm going to move it up a little bit higher. So I'm going to get a little bit of water on here. Back on it. And take the old toothpick. Try to get it wet again. There it goes. Dab a little bit of water back out of there. Not all the way, but a little bit more. And take it a little bit higher up on the scoop there. That looks good. My toothpick back, or my Q-tip back. And we'll see once again what it looks like. Yep, much better. So now we'll put the other side in. And this should be ready to pop off now. As you can see, I'm not exactly super dexterous at this. And to the other side here, we'll pop that on, move it around. Make sure we're about even. That's closer to the back, so I'm gonna move you over just a little bit. Yeah, be careful. If you don't have a lot of water on here, they'll dry pretty quickly onto it and they'll adhere themselves rather nicely and make it difficult to move. That's why the key, especially on bigger decals, is to initially put them as close as you can get to where they're actually going to go. Don't take that chance of moving them around. Okay, so we'll put that on. Everything looks pretty even, pretty good. So now we'll go ahead and put the rear spoiler decal on here. Okay, should be about ready to go here now. See if it'll slide. Yep, it's ready to slide. And sometimes you want to put your micro set down there first, but this doesn't really require that necessarily. I am going to put a little bit of water on there. Centering this decal is a little tricky sometimes, but to prevent from ripping it or anything like that, I think it's about as straight as it's going to get. It's not really going to move on me, and I'm not going to force it, even though I have an extra. It looks pretty darn close to straight to me. So we'll go with that. Now we'll go to the side script. Drop those in. Okay, let's pull them out. And they're ready to go. First one's off. Set the second one aside someplace. And just line it up with your toothpick. Eyeball it, look straight to me. Dab it down. Get the water out. And gently side to side. It's good, straight and even. And we'll go to the other side and repeat the process. In order to see better, I kind of have to take my glasses off. So I'll struggle sometimes getting a little bit of this done because I can't see too well with my glasses off. But for little things like this that are real close, I see better with them off than on. So we'll get it straightened out a little bit here. When you move it a hair one way or the other, and it looks like it's off by half an inch, you know. And just dab it down. And swipe it across. And they look pretty even to me. On each side. Okay, so now it's time for the smaller birds to go on the little panel there. What I normally do with small ones, I should have done with the other script. I didn't know I was going to do the script first. Is I'd just use a little cap from a pill bottle for smaller decals. And just drop them in. Okay, and they should be about set. So here we go. Slide it off the backing. Close to where you want it. And again, just get it as centered and straight as you can. Looks straight enough to me, so I'll dab the water off of it carefully. Being careful not to let it slide around while I'm dabbing the water. And there it goes. So I'll go back to centering it. And these are things that can go wrong with decals, so I'm not going to edit that out. Little things that can go wrong. No big deal. Okay. Now I'll go to the other side. Get a little bit of the water out of there. Let it soak it up. Pretty slippery. Don't know if I mentioned this. I did start with lukewarm water. Saw the size cup I used. I put 1 drop of Dawn dish liquid in there. Blue Dawn dish soap. Just to help the decal maybe slide around a little bit while you get it ready. Okay, they look about even, they look about level and straight, so there we are. Got a little tiny decal to put on the front, ready to slide off, so you take it and get it close and just slip it on. Just right there. Can barely see it, but it's there. Take out my little tray and use my decal bucket again for the bird. Still don't need to use all of it. I'm going to put it in upside down, so when it curls up, it stays submerged all the way. Okay, we'll check it out, see if it's ready yet. Pretty much, so we'll get the bottom going here. And we'll try to set it, like I say, as close to where you want it as you can possibly get it. And then just let everything come off. A little crooked. Little crooked. Just keep it wet to move it around. This is where the dish soap comes in handy. Helps keep it a little slippery. And you can see I tore it because it wasn't wet enough. Tore it in a couple places, so this might be a situation where I'm darn glad I have two of these. Matter of fact, I know it's going to be a situation where I'm glad I have two of them, because that is just not going to work. But I have to find my other sheet, so we'll come back with it. I'm definitely going to have to be careful with that one. I found the other set. So back into the water that one goes. So into the water that goes. Gonna be all set here, so I'm gonna try something different with it. Try to slide it off with the wings in place here. About where I want them. And I forgot my micro set. I knew I was going to. I do stuff like that. Okay, so hopefully that gets in there. And we'll try to move things around a little bit. And get her straight here. It's actually looking pretty darn good. To be honest with you. Thankfully, I did a much better job that time. Fold our towel here down, get some extra stuff out of here. Can move it just a little bit while I was patting it. Still moving it. But that's kind of okay because the whole thing's moving still. Move it just a smidge up top. Try to leave the bottom straight, and I think we got it. Once again, I don't want to move it this time. And just mat it down. Getting rid of any bubbles and excess water. While we're at it here, keep it in the camera line here, hopefully. Double check everything. I think I'm looking pretty good here. Yes, I do. I think I've got it. I'll get out the micro saw, which is going to really clamp the decal down on the hood a little bit more. Dumped this a couple times so I don't have nearly as much of this as I did of the set. Just brush it on, especially in the hood line here where the center line of the hood is. Around the edges especially. Get those right down really good. All set, and just let it sit there. Set you on the hood real quick. Set the hood on where it goes. And there we are. Happy, happy. Let it dry for a couple days and I'll get the clear on it. Okay, so the decals are all on now. I'll zoom in and you see I put one of the birds on the engine cover there. And I'll pick up the shaker scoop. You can see the TA 6.6 on either side of it. And we'll see the Trans Am script on the side. And along the back. Along with the bird on the panel. And then to the other side. To the hood. A little fleck of dust off of that. There we go. And even the little Trans Am on the little bumper guard there. So there's all the decals so far. Okay, so that's where we're sitting right now. The second update on the MPC 1979 Pontiac Trans Am. This is Craig from Stumpy Grump Scale Speed Shop saying thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.